Jonas was in trouble. He knew at the moment Lady Frances entered the meeting hall armed with her overstuffed carpet bag, wearing a tight bodice that accentuated her abundant assets. He normally enjoyed the company of beautiful women. Unfortunately, it was difficult to admire pouty lips and tempting breasts when they belonged to someone as vexing as Lady Frances Aaberg, a witch who greatly enjoyed shouting at him. The foyer of the matchmaker's hall was decorated in mirrors. He used the largest looking-glass to keep a discreet eye on the lady from the threshold of the dining room. After she exchanged polite pleasantries with the human servants, she was promptly escorted into a parlour by a footman to await a summons. The matchmaker bustled in beside Jonas then, a Seelie woman with a shock of white hair, long pointed ears, and a no-nonsense attitude that he appreciated. She had selected several very promising candidates for him to wed already. None of them had been particularly invigorating in terms of company, but just about any one of them would get the job done if he set his mind to it. Something held him back, though. He'd have to share a home and a bed occasionally with his bride. It need not be a love match, but he'd rather he wasn't bored to tears in her presence. Jonas needed to make a selection soon if he wanted to be considered by the best clubs before they opened to new members next year. Though a man of vast wealth, there was one thing that barred him from accessing all that the Lunar Court and the riches of the city of River Row had to offer him. He needed a lord's title. The right bride could fix all of that. But why in heaven's name had Lady Frances been invited here? Jonas frowned down at the matchmaker, suddenly doubting her capabilities. The Seelie was shorter in stature than Lunar Fae like himself. Even though he was slouching in the archway, the top of her snowy head barely came to his chest. The Seelie lacked horns and similar adornments, like the short, black, bracket-shaped set that curved back off his own crown. "The Lady of Whitehome and I don't get on," he explained in a low rumble. Needing to busy his hands, he straightened the lapel of his jacket. "Lady Aaberg mentioned you knew each other during the acquisition stage." She spoke in the lilting accent of the northern provinces. Her blue eyes were light, suggesting she was a younger immortal, only a century old perhaps. "The lady mentioned something about a bargain with her father, the Earl." Jonas's nostrils flared. "She's convinced I was less than fair to the man." "Were you less than fair, Mr. Moen?" "Yes," he admitted drolly. "The lady meets all of your qualifications." Raising a finger, she listed them off one at a time. "An immortal woman with a title, a pleasing form, nocturnal with Lunar Fae ancestry, and she's desperate.